Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into something pretty fascinating, the global biochar market.
It really is a hot topic right now.
We've got this report from Cognitive Market Research predicting the market size for 2025. Our mission, to pull out the key stuff for you, especially for keeping an eye on, emerging markets and sustainable solutions.
Right, without getting lost in all this super technical jargon.
Exactly. And just quickly, if biochar is new to you, basically think of it like charcoal, but engineered for good.
Yeah, it's made from heating organic waste, like wood or crop residues, without much oxygen. Turns it into this really stable, carbon-rich material.
And the report really hammers home its role in soil enhancement. That seems to be a huge driver.
Absolutely. Imagine it like a microscopic sponge for soil.
Yeah.
It helps it hold water, nutrients. It's quite amazing stuff.
So let's get to the numbers. The report says the global market will be USD 556.6 million in 2025.
Which is already pretty substantial, I'd say.
But here's the kicker.
Wow.
By 2033, they're forecasting it to reach USD 1610.17 million.
Wow, that's nearly a threefold increase.
Yeah, it's a compound annual growth rate, CAGR of 14.20% from 2025. And the main reason, according to the report, this rising demand for soil enhancement solutions to improve agricultural productivity in degraded lands.
Makes total sense. There's so much land out there that needs help, right? Intensive farming, deforestation. Biochar offers a real way to kind of rejuvenate it.
Better soil, better crops. Seems straightforward.
And it's not just a quick fix. It contributes to longer-term soil health and carbon storage, too.
Okay, let's break it down by region, because the picture varies quite a bit. North America first.
Sure. They're leading the pack in 2025.
Yeah, USD 333.96 million. That's like over 40% of the whole market. And their growth is projected at a steady 13.0% CAGR through 2033.
That's a big slice. And it reflects early adoption, quite a bit of research investment there. People are aware of the benefits.
The report specifically mentions the U.S., right? Big chunk of that North American figure.
Yeah, USD 263.49 million in 2025, growing at 12.8%.
Yeah.
Driven by that awareness of, soil fertility, water retention benefits.
And Canada.
Canada's at USD 40.08 million, but with a slightly faster growth, 13.8% CAGR. The report suggests government support and policies are giving it a nudge there.
Okay, moving over to Europe, also a big player.
Definitely. Over 30% market share.
USD 100.19 million in 2025. But their growth forecast is higher, 15.0% CAGR. What's pushing that?
Well, Europe has a strong focus on environmental regulations, doesn't it? Carbon emissions, sustainable practices. That creates a good environment for biochar.
Makes sense.
The report flags the UK, for instance, using more biochar in organic farming. That's a USD 16.83 million market, growing at 15.8%.
Faster than the European average.
And Germany, too, even bigger market, USD 19.84 million, growing at 15.2%. They apparently have some significant government incentives.
Policy really matters here.
Hugely. It can really accelerate things.
All right, let's talk Asia Pacific. APAC, USD 83.49 million in 2025, so about 23% share. But the growth rate.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting.
It's the fastest projected CAGR, right? A whopping 17.2%.
Absolutely. That's a steep climb. And it's not just the scale of agriculture there. It's driven by government pushes for soil health, food security.
Right.
They see biochar as strategic.
China's a big part of that.
For sure. USD 35.07 million market, 16.7% growth. Lots of government initiatives and subsidies mentioned.
What about India?
India's starting smaller, USD 8.35 million, but projected to grow even faster, 19.1% CAGR. And Australia's mentioned too, 16.5% growth on a USD 4.34 million market. The whole region is grappling with climate impacts on farming.
Okay, South America next.
Like-
Smaller market overall.
Yeah, USD 13.92 million in 2025, just over 5% share, but still solid growth predicted 14.8% TAGR.
Brazil and Argentina are highlighted. Different reasons.
Seems like it. For Brazil, USD 5.96 million market, 15.4% CAGR. The report links it to, well, the big issues.
Yeah.
Deforestation and the resulting soil degradation. Biochar is a fix.
And Argentina.
Smaller market, USD 2.34 million, but slightly higher growth at 15.7%. There, it seems linked more to renewable energy interests. Biochar production can tie into that, and also waste management.
Interesting angles. What about the Middle East?
USD 16.70 million market, around 2% share, growing at 15.6%.
Saudi Arabia and the UAE specifically.
Yeah. Think about the conditions there. Tough climate, soil degradation, serious water scarcity.
So biochar for water retention primarily.
Exactly. The report suggests Saudi Arabia, USD 5.88 million, 15.9% CAGR. And the UAE, USD 3.44 million, 16.1% CAGR, are looking at it to boost agricultural resilience. Makes sense with their sustainability goals.
And finally, Africa. Smallest market share for now.
Right, USD 8.35 million, about 1%, growing at 14.2% CAGR.
South Africa and Nigeria mentioned.
Yeah, and the drivers are pretty compelling. Nigeria's market is small, USD 0.67 million, but growing at 14.4%. There's increasing awareness there about how biochar can help with water retention, especially in drought areas, and even fighting desertification.
Wow, that's critical.
Absolutely. And South Africa has a larger base, USD 2.94 million, growing at 15.1%. The continent is increasingly looking for these kinds of local sustainable solutions.
So, summing up the regions, North America leads now, but watch APAC for that rapid growth.
Definitely the one to keep an eye on for speed.
Now, where is all this biochar actually used? The report says agriculture, particularly large farms, is the fastest growing application. Why them?
Well, it just ticks a lot of boxes for large-scale ag, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They need to boost yields, but also do it sustainably.
Right.
Biochar helps soils hold water, massive help if water is scarce or expensive. It holds nutrients better, so potentially less need for synthetic fertilizers, which cuts costs and reduces runoff pollution.
And the carbon thing again?
Exactly. Locking carbon in the soil for the long term. That's huge for carbon sequestration goals. Plus, the report mentions government incentives and carbon credit programs are starting to make the economics look pretty good too.
That adds up. But the report also mentions households. That surprised me a little.
Yeah, it might seem small scale, but think about trends like home gardening, composting, even people using filters for water.
Ah, okay.
Biochar can boost your garden soil. It apparently helps control odors in compost. And it's a decent filter medium because it's so porous. And you can actually get smaller production systems now, making it more accessible.
Right, okay. Let's talk production. How is it made? Pyrolysis is flagged as dominant.
Yeah, that's the main one. Basically, heating biomass without much oxygen. You get biochar plus syngas and bio-oil.
And why is it dominant?
It's pretty efficient at keeping a high amount of carbon in the biochar, which is key for the sequestration part. It's also scalable, works for small or big operations. And you can often use the energy from the gas and oil byproducts to, help power the process. Makes it more viable economically.
But gasification is mentioned as the fastest growing technology. How's that different?
Gasification uses a little bit of oxygen generally. It breaks down the biomass more completely.
But what's the benefit?
Often higher energy efficiency, potentially lower emissions than some pyrolysis methods. And while you still get biochar, gasification is really good at producing more usable bioenergy alongside it.
Ah, so it's a trade-off. More focus on energy, maybe.
Kind of. If generating renewable energy and getting biochar is the goal, gasification looks attractive. That's likely why investment is flowing into advanced gasification tech, driving that faster growth rate.
Okay, depends on your priorities. Now, drivers. We've hit soil improvement hard, but what else is pushing the market?
Well, the whole climate change mitigation piece is massive, isn't it? That focus on carbon sequestration, but biochar as a carbon sink is getting way more attention.
Right.
And also, waste management. Finding good uses for agricultural waste, forestry residues, turning that waste into valuable biochar fits perfectly with circular economy ideas.
Using everything.
Exactly. Plus, just more research proving its benefits and more government support and funding popping up for projects, it creates momentum.
But it can't be all smooth sailing. What are the roadblocks? The report mentions some restraints.
Yeah, there are definitely challenges. Production cost is still a big one. Making it cheap enough to compete widely with, say, traditional fertilizers is tough.
Scaling up production, too.
Right. Getting to commercial scale efficiently is an ongoing challenge. And another key thing is the lack of standardized regulations and quality control.
Ah, so you don't always know what you're getting.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Having clear, agreed-upon standards across the board would really help build confidence and make the market work better.
Okay. And overall trends, what's the big picture shift?
Well, it reinforces what we've been saying. The dual benefit of carbon storage and soil health is really the core trend. Looking ahead, the report points to more R&D focus on biochar-based fertilizers.
Combining biochar with nutrients?
Exactly. Kind of smart fertilizers. Could be more sustainable, maybe more effective than just applying standard fertilizers. That looks like a key area for innovation.
Interesting. So who's actually doing this? The report names some key companies.
Yeah, mentions like Biochar Solutions, Inc., Eric's Energy, Carbon Gold, Wakefield Biochar, Agri-Tech producers, quite a few players.
And they're competing on.
Things like how efficient their production is, the specific quality of their biochar, their sustainability credentials, maybe involvement in carbon credit schemes, and obviously having better pyrolysis or gasification tech is a big advantage.
You mentioned Eric's Energy seems active in partnerships.
Yeah, the report notes two examples. One partnership with BDO's Zone Strategic Alliance from late 2022 seems focused on making bioenergy projects, probably including biochar ones, less risky financially.
Okay.
And another with the SUEZ group from mid-2021. That one sounds aimed at building industrial-scale plants to turn biomass residue into biochar, specifically targeting soil resilience and climate action.
So big players are getting involved?
Shows it's being integrated into broader energy and environmental strategies, doesn't it?
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. The deep dive shows the biochar market is really poised for some serious growth,
Definitely on an upward curve.
driven largely by the need for better soil, especially in agriculture, and this huge push for carbon sequestration.
Those are the twin engines, yeah.
We saw North America leading in size now, but APAC growing fastest. Agriculture, especially big farms, is the main user, but households are getting in on it too.
And the technology, pyrolysis, and gasification keeps evolving.
Right. Challenges like cost and standards are still there, but the overall direction seems pretty clear. For me, the aha moments were really understanding those specific regional drivers, like water scarcity in the Middle East or deforestation in Brazil.
Yeah, it's not just one story globally.
Yeah.
And for you listening, I mean, whether you're in farming or working on sustainability or just tracking green tech, these trends matter.
This isn't just abstract growth. It feels like a real shift towards, well, smarter land management.
Absolutely. More sustainable resource use.
So here's something to mull over. Given this growth and all the uses we talked about, where else might biochar pop up? What other, maybe unexpected sectors could start using it significantly in the next few years?
Good question. Construction materials. Water filtration on a larger scale.
Maybe. And what other innovations in actually making or using biochar are waiting just around the corner? Definitely a space to watch as we keep exploring sustainable tech here on the Deep Dive.